Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. As you can see, Microsoft Flight Simulator has updated now. This is update 7, or the Game of the Year update, and I have VR hand controls. Now you can keep the default controls or customize. I'm keeping the default. We're going to be flying on the world map here. We're going to be using the Savage Cub, which is probably the easiest plane you can fly. And we're going to fly from Cairo International here today. And we're going to fly toward Giza, take a bit of a scenic route, check out the Sphinx and the pyramids. All while using the Oculus Touch as hand controls for piloting. And I have to say, I've been doing this for a little under a week now, and I really enjoy the hand controls. So here we are. We are ready to fly. And it's very simple. You just turn the throttle to 100, grab the stick, pull up. And watch the altimeter get higher and higher. Goal is to get over 100 feet, or 500 feet rather. Now we're only at 300. As you can see, we're using our hand control to steer the stick here. And the throttle's right here. There's also flaps down there if you need them. I found that I didn't need them with this particular aircraft. So we're in Cairo right now. Now, I have never been really outside of the United States, except for brief jaunts to Canada. But so far I have flown to Dubai, or in Dubai, using this plane, using these VR hand controls. I've flown in Australia from the Queenstown Airport, which was beautiful, if I do say so. And I've flown this route in Egypt a couple of times, because I just found this one super fascinating. So we're going to fly basically over Cairo. You'll see things like the National Egyptian Museum on this route. And of course the pyramids of Giza.
Savage, X-ray Golf Sierra, leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
I love that there's kind of like a pool down there. I'm not sure if that's actually meant to be water or not. Looked like water though. Now what's cool about this particular plane, the Savage Cub, is you can fly really low and see the ground pretty close to what it would look like in real life. Now what I'm looking for is to try to find the sites of those pyramids, and you can see now off to the right up ahead you can see the triangles of the pyramids. So I'm going to head that way. And while I'm flying, I just want to mention a couple of things. When I was at AWE a couple of weeks ago... Yeah, whatever. I don't need to acknowledge. I don't listen to air traffic control. I don't have any objectives, as you can see. I'm just trying to fly and enjoy myself. Anyway, while I was at AWE, one of the headsets that I tried that I did not talk about in my big wrap-up was the very, very cool Vario Aero. And the Vario Aero is a SteamVR compatible controller. I wonder if I can turn comms off somehow. I think there's a way to. Comm volume off. I don't know if I just turned it off or not. Whoops. There. Now let's fly toward those pyramids. So I tried the Vario Aero at AWE. It was an amazing experience. I used the Aero with a flight stick. Yes, air traffic control services have terminated. Good day. Thank you. I'm not planning to talk to you. I used a flight stick, played this game. It is the most amazing clarity I've ever seen in a VR headset. And one of the other things that Vario offers is software. They have a pretty pro-grade dashboard, essentially, and then a workspace. So with the workspace and the core software in combination, you can actually bring different windows and different desktops into your VR experiences. So I could be flying here in Egypt and watching a documentary about Egypt, for example, or many other cool things. I want to head this way because I know the museum is actually a little off center from the pyramids. And I really like their software suite. I really like their headset. It's a SteamVR compatible headset, so if you have base stations and controllers, it will already work with your SteamVR setup. However, if you do not, you're paying $2,000 for that headset alone. And then you have to get either Index or Vive 1 controllers, in addition to base stations. Or if you're using it specifically for Sims, you'll need to get some form of flight stick or pedals and steering wheel if it's a car game that you're going through. And for some reason, my throttle keeps adjusting. But we're going to head toward the Egyptian Museum here first. So it can be a pretty pricey device. And I will say, while it's marketed in a way that a consumer could purchase the Vario Aero, it's really intended for enterprise still. It's still really a business headset. It is still, while one of the coolest things that I got to try, something that I can't say, oh yeah, everybody should get one of these, because I don't think everyone should. But if you want the best visuals in a headset, that's definitely it, at least for the time being. I definitely enjoyed checking it out. I don't know why my throttle keeps going down a bit. As you can see, the pyramids of Giza are over there. And I love being able to just steer through this, just using the simple stick and the cub here. Savage Cub is probably the easiest playing with the available control scheme of the VR controls. VR controls are not available for every single... there's the Egyptian Museum down there, that red colored building right there. And then Cairo Tower is right ahead of me. And we're going to follow along the water here for a bit. Head toward the pyramids. Now we're in downtown Cairo. The Savage Cup was the easiest because it's just got a stick and a throttle, essentially. And you don't have to worry about landing gear. You don't have to worry about different switches. Obviously, I turned off communications with air traffic control because I don't really need air traffic control where I'm going. I'm joyriding in airspace that I probably shouldn't be flying in the first place. And I have used both the Rift S and the Quest 2 at this point. Quest 2 using virtual desktop and AirLink and Link all works fine with this setup. I will say the frame rate's a little bit lesser than I think it was in the update prior to update 7. They just added some new DirectX 12 compatibility, and I feel like it's still not yet optimized for VR. But this game is absolutely stunning. I love the fact the first time I flew this route, and I say route, I don't actually route plan, I just explore. But I was flying and I noticed out of the corner of my eye the triangles of the pyramids, and I just headed for them. And as I got closer and closer, it was just mind blowing the fact that I was flying near those natural wonders, essentially. So what's very cool is we're going to head over here. We're going to see the Great Sphinx of Giza. Then we're going to fly kind of between the pyramids and then go to Cairo West Airport beyond the pyramids. And that's where we'll land. But I do really like how the VR hand controls work. It feels so much more immersive having your hands in the plane as opposed to using either a flight stick, which, you know, also works and can be just as immersive. But when you've already got the hand controllers, you don't really need another controller. I was previously playing using an Xbox gamepad primarily. You can also play with keyboard and mouse. You can add a flight stick if you wish, or a yoke if you wish. But I really like the VR hand controls. This update has been fantastic. There are a bunch of other updates as well, plus some new paid DLC. There's lots of paid DLC at this point for Flight Simulator as we go into another year with this game. And I do feel like this really was kind of my game of the year in 2020. It allowed me to explore the world, even though I couldn't go out of my home for the most part. Check out these pyramids. And of course, the Great Sphinx of Giza as well. I love that there's kind of like a little pyramid in front of one of the pyramids there. And Cairo West Airport is over there, so once we get past the pyramids here, we'll head that way. These are the Great Pyramids of Giza. One of the wonders of the world. And now everything heading toward Cairo West is pretty flat. Got 14 nautical miles over there. Now, obviously, you probably can't fly near the Great Pyramids of Giza. It's probably very restricted airspace. But in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can literally explore the world. And in VR, it's super immersive. Like, I can even see that kind of cut out in the glass of the window there. It's crazy. Some of the planes have damage on the windows, and you can see that as well. I love that the propeller kind of distorts the image in front of me when the propeller's going, just like it would in a real plane. Like, the detail that they added to this game is amazing. And just so much better in a VR headset. And having VR hand controls in a game like this, it didn't feel like they were missing prior to them being added in Update 7 here. But now that I have them, it's like, where have they been the whole last year? It's crazy how just something, I don't want to say is minor, because I'm sure it was not trivial for them to add, but something like just a control scheme like this can add so much more immersion for me. And of course, in more complex planes, you have more options, more things you can press with your hands. You do pre-flight checks and things of that nature with the bigger aircraft. I like to keep things simple in this game, though, and just explore as I go. And this one with just the simple flight stick in front of me to steer. Simple throttle controls. It's somewhat calming flying in this game as well. You hear the sound of the engines and the sound of the propeller. It can be as close to the ground or as far up as you want to be. Can even crash. No real consequence to that. Like I said, it's a way to explore the world. Like, you can explore the world with Google Earth as an example, but this has a pace that you kind of control, and you're guiding yourself across Bing Maps essentially. It's truly a game unlike any other right now, at least for me. Prior to Microsoft Flight Simulator, I spent hundreds of hours flying in Elite Dangerous in VR and out of VR, and now that this game is out, I'm also exploring the Earth, and look at all those palm trees. It's very cool. I don't know how realistic this map actually is, because I've never been to Cairo. I've never flown over the real Egypt, but it's so cool to me to be able to do this. I always take very short flights. I don't do like cross country or anything of that nature, or over ocean flights. I always do these shorter flights with lower speed aircraft. I feel like oh no, the heading indicator is off. Oh well. It's gone now. So we're about 5 nautical miles out. I did try to add a desktop overlay. I tried Desktop Plus, which is a free overlay from Steam VR, and it didn't really work well. I was trying to simulate a little bit how Vario's software works, and I could not do it. At least not well. I could do something poorly executed, but not anything that's as pro grade as what they offer. I know if I used Oculus as the OpenXR codec, I could just kind of drop a window into the scene using Oculus's version of Virtual Desktop, but this is currently set to Steam being the OpenXR software. So there's different options to bring desktop windows or chat windows or things of that nature into your scene. I just hadn't seen anything as elegantly done as what Vario offered. So that's why I wanted to shout them out for that. For my money's worth, though, the Rift S and the Quest 2 I could buy tenfold, essentially, for the amount of money that a Vario headset with controllers with base station would be available. I'd rather, at this point, probably kit out all my friends with Rift S. Well, it's hard to do that now that the Rift S is discontinued, but with Quest 2 and link cables. But no matter what your VR headset, I definitely encourage checking out this game if you have a computer that's powerful enough to run it. And if you don't have a VR headset, this game is still super good. But like I said, I really prefer the immersion, being able to really be, like, I'm really close to the ground right now. And I'm just loving the exploration in this game. We're at the airport now. I should probably try to touch down. I'm gonna get past this building first, and I'm gonna cut the throttle. We're gonna land on sand, I can see that already. And we're gonna crash. Well, that's the best way to do it, I guess. Let's go ahead and turn the ignition off. Well, we've crashed. Let's go back to the main menu here. I hope you enjoyed that quick flight through Cairo, the Great Pyramids of Giza, and the Cairo West area. Having hand controls in any VR game are amazing. I still remember back in the days when the only VR controller was an Xbox controller, but having two hands makes all the world of a difference. And I'm super glad that Microsoft Flight Simulator allows you to have two hands now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back with more content soon. Until next time, get out there and enjoy some VR for yourself. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.